restart. I'm forgetting now. It's a little break.
We'll start over.
What are you were talking about?
Like connecting to Tzadik and.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I was like reading a few things. It was all this. It's all based on this one paragraph that actually turns into like.
I think he did. I don't know.
7 paragraphs.
Adam, can you say that?
Yeah. About Gullus and Geula and Tzadikim and Das and all these fancy terms. So I was thinking, Alter Rebbe, he's I think he was Tzadik. And
I'm going to give you a little sample.
before we get into these
plates were just used for
these few paragraphs in Likutei Halachos, which express and just bring together everything that a tzaddik is and everything that we strive to get from a tzaddik and seek in a tzaddik. But before, there's just a few ideas I think that will help just build a little foundation for it. So I read a story today. Someone came to the Rebbe, and he had a bad case of psoriasis. And he said, "I don't believe in God, but I believe in tzaddikim." You know, and I heard that you're a miracle doer, worker. You know, like, so I came and I asked you to heal me. And the Rebbe said to him, all my power, all my ability comes from God. So if you don't believe in God, you can't believe in tzaddikim. The guy said, great, but I believe in tzaddikim. I don't believe in God. So the Rebbe, in front of the guy, he moved his arms up and down the guy's arms and his body, and his psoriasis was healed instantly.
Wow.
And the Rebbe said to him that I don't like performing miracles out in the open. I don't like performing revealed miracles. But if it will get a Jew to hopefully believe in God and believe in mitzvos and carry out mitzvos and good deeds and all those good things, then I'll do it. And I think that's what the tzaddik, in a way, is what we all look for in tzaddikim, is people who are able to make us believe in God again. Because even though we believe it, and it's in us, and it's natural, and it's innate, and nefesh halakus, and all those things, we go through life, and we're not constantly thinking about God and about how what happens to us in our day is orchestrated by the divine hand. And we seek out tzaddikim, those unique tzaddikim, who are willing to do open things for us in order for us to just believe in God. They're not doing it because they want us to be like, oh, I love this person, or he's great. It's all because they're one with God, and they want us to believe again in God in a real way. And I think the way I started was what the Alter Rebbe meant to me. I am not qualified to speak about him, but I can only speak about what he means to me. And tzaddikim and Alter Rebbe especially, what he was doing in his time was, as the B'ditchever said, it's amazing how you could take such a big God and put him in such a small book. And what that means is you could take this abstract, amazing concept that we have a hard time with, and put it into something so small, and meaning put it into the language that we can understand and reinvigorate our faith and reveal our faith in God. So just a few, before we get to the Likutei Halachos, a few things I saw which highlight this is the Zohar says that a tzaddik Tzadik, the letter Tzadik, is a tziruf of two letters, a nun and a yud. Don't think about the tzaddik that we're usually used to writing, but the Torah tzaddik is a nun. And in the Zohar it says that the nun stands for onah, deceit. And the yud is a representation of chachma, the divine wisdom. Our whole lives are the nun. We deceive ourselves. And tzaddikim come, the essence of a tzaddik is to come and not even to tell us that you were living a lie, but to show us that what we thought was a lie was really God all along. That's the essence of a tzaddik, is not to say you were living a lie and now go live the truth. Tzaddik reveals within you the inherent truth that everything you were doing, God had a hand in and God revealed to you. The Alter Rebbe was all about that. He was all about telling you and showing you how what you think is this other alter ego of myself is really the truest expression of myself. I just wasn't looking at it right. Everything is about misuseres, about hidden fear, hidden love, and revealing it. It's not about wrong this and then right this. It's about revealing what's natural and what's true and what's the reality. It's a big difference if you look at it like that. That's the difference between real tzaddikim and the Rebelach around there. The Rebelach get you to move to this doing and that doing and give them this money and that money. Tzaddikim, they have one goal in mind, is to reveal how what everything you've been doing all along is the will of God, and you have to tune yourself more to it, and it's natural, and it's tivy, and it's there. So when God was creating the world, he went to all the osios and asked, seek their opinion, see what they want. And the tzaddik said, I'm righteous, you should create the world with me. And God said, I know you're righteous, so you're going to remain hidden. The tzaddik, the righteous, are going to remain hidden. Again, that's the essence of a tzaddik, is to reveal hiddenness, to reveal what's soser and what's hidden, what's contradictory in our life, to reveal it as non-contradictory. The gematria of tzaddik is 90, and the Mishnah in Avos tells us that when we reach 90, we reach a level of lasuach. I think the lashon of Avos is ben tzaddik lasuach. Lasuach means tefillah, which has a connection to that, but Rashi understands it to mean that you bend yourself over. There's a looked up in the dictionary, and in the modern dictionaries, I guess they don't have it as that, but Rashi's pretty legit, I think. Very good. So it's to be bent over, and tzaddikim are that aspect of being bent over, of embodying no existence outside of the will of God. The emes of tzaddikim of the generation, throughout the generations, each generation has a few of them that God sends our way. To them, there's no other emetzios but the will of God and the way of God and God Himself. And when we attach to the tzaddikim, we were kind of mentioning this offhand earlier, we kind of give all of what we are to them, and they imbue us with that level of reality, that das. So tzaddik is das. That's what he is. He's part of Moshe Rabbeinu. So yeah, there's part of us, Tanya says, everyone has a little bit of Moshe Rabbeinu in them. The tzaddik comes and highlights that for you and reveals that for you. And this is all, the Rambam has a very interesting lashon. This is all by way of getting to Likutei Halachos. So we're gonna get there. I like that. The Alter Rebbe Yahrzeit we're learning
Breslov.
It means a lot.
Chayav Breslov Tachuf. We need Breslov right away.
Once I already saw that there was pushback to people needing Burning Man on Twitter. I knew it wasn't a good thing to write that on tonight's night. People need to learn.
So where's Gavin yelling? We're gonna see if
He's in Snow White's house. But first of all, Chaim in the middle.
I'm in the middle.
I'm in the middle.
You spoke about how no one knows all they're thinking?
What?
Did you talk about that? How no one knows all they're
I'm Emsa.
We tried
We
it.
had a very interesting Alter Rebbe's Niggin. We sang it in multiple parts, and there was a lot of break in between.
Yeah,
You discussed
Shabbos.
it that one week, but
We're still in the
no one
break.
knows it because there's only like certain rules that sing on this day.
We had a whole discussion about the rules. It means that you haven't said enough l'chaim. If you're still putting on your gartel and your hat, like running to get it, you haven't said l'chaim enough. So to all those out there who are putting on their gartel and their hat,
Is it still time for tefillin on?
what?
The time for tefillin still?
It's right there if you want. You can put it Rabbeinu Tam. You don't make a bracha anyway, so it's
I've seen
You don't make a bracha
put
for
on
Rabbeinu
it's not a
I've seen
halachah,
Rabbeinu put on. It's like it was pitch dark.
No, you don't.
Put on. It's the most crazy time. So
Yeah.
for him, it's still day, but it was definitely dark for over an hour.
Yeah, but it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
What does he say? What's the idea of that? Like that it's always dark?
No, it's always light.
If you're
Exactly. That's what he says before. She says that.
It's always light.
Transform
no,
the
but if you
light,
want to
yeah.
be a halachist,
Yeah.
there's different zmanim.
It's also, yeah.
Bichlal.
I like that. Hell,
Right, light is not what the sun and the moon produce.
We decide to be
Very
these
superficial.
very smart
It's a
people who
It's a very
say,
superficial way of
"Oh,
seeing
the
life.
second it starts to get dark, that's nighttime."
From the sun.
He doesn't care about anything else, but like
Zehu.
the thing is like we should like,
Zehu,
like I don't know.
zehu,
Yes.
Chazak.
zehu.
Okay, I don't want.
So just to continue the discussion of
It wasn't
tzaddikim.
even close to that. It wasn't even
Those who are of that camp of the discussion we were just having
I didn't know.
Seven late?
would most likely raise the issue of our love of tzaddikim and our bittul to tzaddikim and our belief in tzaddikim as a very not okay thing to do. There's God and then there's people and then that's it. But the Rambam has an amazing and talks about the mitzvah of cleaving to God, of Davka Bo. It's an amazing lashon. He says, it's mitzvah vav, Sefer mitzvahs. He shetzivanu l'schaber machachamim, l'syachid imahem, l'hasme b'yeshivasam, b'chol ofem me'ofonei avoda, l'chever b'meichel v'mishteh, v'heisa kedei she'yagia lanu l'hidamus b'maseim, l'hamin amitim midreim. Okay, but who amru hisala bo vo tadabek, וכבר נחף על זה הציווי גם כן לא דווקא בו, בא בספרי לא דווקא בו, הדבק בחכמים ותלמידיהם. The mitzvah of דווקא בו, of cleaving to God, who is an Eish Ochla, who will literally burn us into nothing, we attach to the tzaddikim of the generation. And through attaching to tzaddikim, we fulfill our mitzvah of L'Dav Kabbalah. Only to the emes, the real tzaddikim, the tzaddikim amitim, the bnei aliyah of Rashbi, because the tzaddikim amit, there's tzaddikim, there's righteous people who are noble, righteous, great. There's 18,000 of them.
It's a number.
The Gemara mentions that number, but there's bnei aliyah who are totally batal muvutal to the ratzon of God and to the will of God and to what needs to happen in this world. That our belief in them is not problematic. It strengthens our faith in God. Vayaminu b'Hashem b'Moshe avdo. It's words in the Torah. Moshe, we know, was the first shepherd of many shepherds, who his soul is even within all of us, which is a whole thing about believing in yourself. But also believing in tzaddikim is strengthening our belief in in God, because they're really connected to God, and when we seek them out, we seek out their writings and their what they had and their whole message in the world, and connect to it and live it. So in that way, we're strengthening our connection to God, and we're fulfilling the L'Dav Kaba. Really, without this Amunah in the Tzadikim, we're lacking in our faith in God. Because God sent us these Tzadikim. He didn't put them here to for them to twiddle their thumbs, and for us to twiddle our thumbs wherever the hell we are. But He sent them into the world to guide us, to be that light in the plain. And by choosing not to believe in them and to not to seek them out, it's a chisaron in our emunah, and it's a chisaron in our das. That's what it's about. It's a chisaron in our full knowledge of the God, or whatever term you want to use today. Tonight's a night about not being bound by concepts and gargles and hats. But if you seek out the tzaddikim, then you're really strengthening, and it's part and parcel with our faith in God. It's from the days of Moshe Rabbeinu. It's not some nice, crazy, hippie idea. It's a hippie idea not to believe in it. Anyone who's not into it, doesn't believe in that, and attacks it, they're the enlightened ones, not the ones who are, Chaim. But now let's get to what I had to say was jumbled and nothing, and was just a bunch of different things. But yeah, Dov, you had what to say?
But the idea of Tzadik, pass it out. The idea of Tzadik, we still run on that idea today. Everyone runs by everyone says 100% this, 90% this. It's an idea of the 100. Tzadik is 90. Out of what? 100. Everyone's still that idea of 100%. Everyone says 100%. What's it out of? 100%, 90%. Tzadik isn't the idea of 100. So you know what I mean by that? 90%. 90% is still a good thing today.
You're saying if you get a 90 on a test?
Yeah. 90% of the people that voted is good. Connecting the gematria. 90 is still an idea today. It's still a good thing today.
Dove. L'chaim.
To 90.
It was just Hanukkah. Yavin. But you added Tzadik, Sion.
So all the
Miriam. Yeah,
all the
my head is spinning because I've been drinking a lot, but I still need to
perfect.
drink more.
So all the stuttering of what I wrote down.
It's wild though
together.
that the Torah says cleave to God, so Chazal say, connect to tzaddikim.
Yeah.
That's what that means.
The Torah says
cleave
to tzaddikim.
Yeah.
Aminu b'Hashem
Moshe
Avdo.
Yeah.
Well, we have that though. What do you got?
Yeah. What I'm saying is it's,
Why is it that we can always look to the previous
So that's the
generation
thing. You're still something. You're still part of
and
the
see the
Tzadik.
tzaddik?
There's God, who's Yud, and then you're the Nun. You're still there.
It always seems
I
that
feel what you're saying. I just don't.
No,
it always seems that the tzaddik was in the previous generation.
It's the same thing that he was trying to say.
I don't know. Now
Cling
Chabad,
to Tzadik,
they're
it's
pretty
the-
clear about
No, not necessarily. Even
Yeah.
even outside of Chabad.
Yeah.
No, it's
Yeah, he
easier.
was also
the reason it's easier is
Not
because
What's
up?
Torah.
Yeah.
hindsight's
Quoting
2020.
Torah, by the way.
So our job, which we're going to see here, is to seek out.
Yeah.
Is to
I
seek
can't-
out the
I can't
tzaddikim,
differentiate
to
between
find them.
Rav
It's
Nachman
our,
and
it's our
God.
life. It's very hard, but
I really know, seriously.
you can't give up, and you
It's a straight
can't,
struggle for me. I don't know the difference between the two. Between Rav Nachman
Whoa.
and God.
More crackers.
Please.
No, I know the difference, but who am I talking to at certain points in my life? When I talk to Rav Nachman, when I'm talking to God.
Can I ask a question?
It was just
No. If
Yeah.
you're gonna ask, no.
I like that.
But go on.
Can you elaborate on the idea of the tzaddik, the letter of tzaddik? You said forget about the tzaddik that we think of, the letter of the tzaddik. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah.
I feel like I need more heroin.
I'm saying.
Um,
Yeah, 90.
I mean,
Yes. Halachas of cross-dressing. Love it. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Dennis Fishman. Add that to the time of the
If
fish
you
shop.
had been for over 20 years,
It became a man's
To
thing.
be honest, like
It's wearing it.
no,
20 years, it must be.
I mean-
Yeah, it is man.
it was just what I mean.
Other men wear it because of you.
Yeah.
Just what I said was what I saw. I don't know. I'm pretty ignorant. That I'm not gonna beat around the bush here. But what do you think? Like, what are you thinking? Like, what do you want to know?
Like you said, like the difference between the nun and the yud. It's a connection between the yud and the nun.
It's not a difference. It's the coming together of the nun and the yud. The nun, which opinion says, stands for Onah.
Yeah.
To see the world is olam ha'chayisi. It's everything you see is an attempt to deceive us, to tell us to go after X when
That's nun.
reality that's nun. Comes along the yud, which is yud is talking about Kabbalah here. Like I don't
Yud
know
is
anything.
incomprehensible.
What are
It's
Yehuda's kids'
Chachma.
names?
I don't know. Onachosh.
Yehuda.
Aaron, Onan, and Shelah.
Air dude.
Selah.
Naughty boy.
I'm messing it up.
The Yud, who represents the Chachma, which is like the divine wisdom, comes connected, makes a Tzadik, because that's the whole idea of the Tzadik, is to come and bring, divine perspective and reveal what really is beneath the veneer of this world.
Okay.
So that's the letter Tzadik.
Does that have a connection to the yud? Does that have a connection to the Eitz Hadas?
Yeah.
Big connection.
Yeah. But we're not.
Okay.
Just chose not to go that route.
Very
There is a
good
connection.
Okay.
So that's another time, another place.
It's
to
all
find.
connected, really.
I mean, everything's connected. Like, if you think it's not, then we get with the program.
I was you gotta think about it. The one time I went to the Hajj, where the Alter Rebbe was buried, it's because it was Uman for Shoshana. It's all the same thing.
Yeah, sure.
I was there, I
Right,
had 3 days when I flew back to Eretz Yisrael. I was like, I gotta fill this time with something. End up in Hajj.
Because you gotta get a new one right
Yeah,
after.
you can't stick around there, because it's a messed up city. It's not a good place to stick around.
What about people that stay around though?
Not so many people.
No, if they do stay around though, like,
They have a tour guide.
ask questions.
They have a tour guide.
No, be worried about them.
Yeah.
Who cares who they
Don't
are?
trust anyone.
What if I know someone that
In
did
Europe. Don't
Who
trust
stayed
anyone in
in
Europe,
Uman?
especially
They stayed in
Ukraine.
Uman?
that? Anyone that did that, I shouldn't trust, or I should trust them but not trust the people that.
Don't even
No,
trust the
no,
Jews
no.
in Ukraine.
No.
We're
You
there.
pay, as long as you're moving. Don't stay still.
Oh right, that's why you pay the cabs extra money.
Yeah, you pay
To
to
move.
get anywhere. To go anywhere. Let's just go. Okay, they want to kill us? Let's go for 5 now. The close
Yeah.
minute. Like, not right here. Don't stick around.
Wow, that's Tzadik.
Yeah. Keep moving.
Bring it back.
Keep moving. Yeah.
So ultimately, the tzaddikim bring das into the world. Not to get into like the heavy understanding of das, but simple understanding of das. Just knowledge that God is running things and everything's one unfolding sipur maisios, and
Good analogy.
God has you where you're supposed to be, and He puts you where you're supposed to be, and anything that's happening is happening for a purpose and a reason.
Amen. Amen.
Doesn't mean you won't get angry about it. Doesn't mean it won't be frustrating, but it's happening for a reason. And the tzaddikim
Reb Adam.
bring that das Elokim into the world, that full understanding, where it's like understood. The tzaddik like has everything filtered exactly how it needs to be, and that's it. So here we go. You ready? Buckle up.
It's not good.
V'zeh b'chinas, we're on Hilchos Giluach, Os Hey, Halacha Hey.
You think some good stuff.
Chet.
What page?
Reish Mem Aleph. It's a circle. There's a circle. Maybe turn it.
Oh.
yeah.
Yep.
So that's Zebechina Shovavim. Shebehem Nohagim. Haksherim. I didn't read what happened beforehand, so I don't know what's Bechina Shovavim, but we'll see. So Nohagim Haksherim Lisanos Litzok Lashem Yisparach B'Tfilas Slichos. So it's customary in these days to cry out, to fast, to cry out in tefillah and slicha to God. Ki be'elu hayamim korim b'Torah being in Galus Mitzrayim, because Shovavim, especially right now, we begin to read about the Golus. Starts with the Golus. Ugulasam, but we also read about the Gula. Shahaya al yedei tzaka. It all happened tzaka. The word, v'na'akasam, the Jewish people cried out to God. They let out a wail because of the
Sefer Shmos is Sefer Gula. It's not the Sefer Shibud.
Well, Golus will be
The whole
revealed.
story is about
Achris Kivrishis will be revealed as Mike and I learned a number of years ago. It will be when it's revealed. It will all be revealed as one experience. Both discipline. Kimo Kain Tzrichim Ata Begolus. So too now we're in Golus. V'zeh Shuvu Banim Shovavim. I love Shovavim time because it's the only time of the year where people read that pasuk as Shuvu Banim Shovavim. Every other time of the year is Shuvu Banim Shovavim, but everyone's very makbid on the pronunciation of it. Shovavim, Shuvu Banim Shovavim. Sheikar Kol Atzaras v'Hagolius Rachman Alatzan Heim Al Yedei Chesron Hadas. The main tzara of Golus is a lack of das. Shezeu b'chinas Shovavim. Shekol Echad Holech Ba'olam Kamo Meshuga B'Shovav. Mamash. Everyone in Gullus, everyone walks around the world like a meshugana, like an insane individual. But in reality, a meshuga means someone who lacks das. That's what the definition of it. A simpleton. He lacks. K'mo shenemar vayelech shovav b'derech. Uk'sheyavin ha'adam ba'atzmo kol zos eichu shovav. I'm not going to necessarily translate everything because it's one paragraph, one little thing turned into how can you not read 3 pages? You know? When a person understands that everything that's happening is belidas, he goes according to the arbitrariness of his heart. This happened and that happened and okay, so this is what I'm feeling and this is going to happen. It's very arbitrary the way he lives his life. But he does not gaze at the essence, the eternal essence and purpose of him. So he needs to cry out to God. Meaning he will cry out to God because he'll be so mibubal. And this is something we mentioned earlier. So each person then will merit according to his bechina, according to where he is. Laholid hamochin vadas, to give birth to intellect and to das, and to understanding and comprehension of everything. By the fact that living a life of arbitrary happenstance, he'll be so mibubal that he'll cry out to God. We all know that feeling. We're like, you cry out because like you can't wrap your hand or head around anything. You can't structuralize anything that's happening in your life. When things are in order, so we don't cry out to God because things are in order and feel nothing's happening. But when things are like out of order and seem to be happening just by the flip of a coin, so we cry out to God. And through crying out to God,
it's not
in that way,
of like being entitled, right? It's not.
What do you mean?
It's the natural being of man cries out to God because like it's not out of like it's no idea of like this is what has to be being like I need to cry because I don't know what's going on.
Exactly.
Because I know what's going on.
It's a cry that we are not in control,
That's it.
which gives birth to the understanding that we're not in control. But the difference is, the beginning of it is, I need to be in control. And the latter part of it, after you've cried and you've spoken to God, is I don't need to be in control because someone else is in control who I have complete faith and trust in. Ikar Hagula, and this is Gula. This is what Gula is a return to Das. On a private, personal level and on a national, general level. And with every person in every place. So I should have stopped reading there, learning there, but I kept reading, and it gets better. Chaim. Vodka?
Vodka with orange soda.
This is 56%.
That's a strong stuff.
Some guy came and he claimed it was illegal. I was like, dude,
So I avoided this
56%, like,
It's a week.
yeah, I was like, you're gonna hit me with illegal on 56%?
Yeah, it's.
You're gonna hit me with illegal. He's like, give me this whole proof business. Well, I don't know. He's like,
He's a vodka connoisseur to know
like,
that.
illegal.
What
He ain't gonna be here.
makes
Yeah,
it
I know he's not
legal?
here. I know that. So it's not happening?
You can come to lunch if you want. If you're
Yeah,
here.
so I didn't have anything.
This is my sister, bro.
Oh, was a big accident?
What?
BBK?
This is Lipa's best friend. All right,
You can make your own.
so let's continue. Klala davar. Talking too much. Klala davar. Sheikar kol agolius vatzaros. So, Zehu, by the way. Zehu. Golus, Chasron Das, Geula, return to Das. How do we get back? Yitzaku, crying out. If you look at the Parsha, it's juxtaposed the crying out and the appearance of the Tzadik in the Parsha. Bnei Yisrael cries out and Moshe shows up on the scene. And at first they don't hear him, and then eventually they follow him. So, Vayaminu B'Hashem Moshe Avdo. Call out to Hashem, cry out to Hashem, talk to Hashem. How do we? Shai was saying, it's hard to find the tzaddikim. V'yitzaku Hashem, cry out to Hashem. And Moshe appears on the scene. Chesron Das, you cry out, you yell out, you scream out. Tzaddikim will appear. God gifted them to the world. He wants you to cry out for them, and then he'll give them to you. So, test. Klal hadavar she'ikar kol hagolos v'atzaros rachmana litzlan begufu v'nefesh kol michesed madashu yadei shelo kiddush shilas hanerus kiroya v'gam lo tzak kiroya l'Hashem Yisbarach. Next page. Shal yidei nis'al min hamochin v'hadas u'misham kol ha'hisrach kus m'Hashem Yisbarach mitzadik emes so we'll the concealment will cause us to move far away from God and from the tzaddikim, to not only not believe in God anymore in the true sense, but also to denigrate and not believe in tzaddikim. It's not crazy. People don't believe in. People think the idea of tzaddikim is ridiculous, and I don't even mean in the heretical sense. I mean in the when you tell them you went to Tzadik or this or that. I remember when I don't want to give too much. I knew a shul that was looking for a lot of money, and they got a lot of money somehow. A niece. And I remember the rabbi of the shul came to me and said, right before the nace happened, so he went to daven at the Shvila Rebbe's kever.
Big deal.
Who's the
He's
Shvila?
legit, by the way. He's legit.
It's not
Who
the
is
point.
Who is that?
We don't need you to say he's legit. He's legit. The story,
Who's the
$23
Shvila?
million is more than Micah saying he's legit.
Remember Robinson
A
was
dude got married. A dude got married.
How did he know about the Shviller?
I don't know, but whatever. Now it's out.
That's like a.
Rabbi Moshe?
And that's Tzadikim.
Yeah.
That's,
Dude,
you know,
Monday, Thursday,
people
Monday. That works.
will
Steelers
well,
like
you tell them you went to a tzaddik, they'll laugh at you
Yeah.
until they need the tzaddik.
Oh.
Same thing with God. They'll laugh at God until you need
Oh,
God.
that's Keshkin
There's no atheist in a foxhole plus the tzaddikim.
Yeah.
Alright.
That's the same zone.
Shkeshkin
I was there, no, a friend of mine got married because I went there Monday, Thursday, Monday. You're supposed to go. What a cab. He's legit. Good lie emotion, he's real. Legit.
Legal stuff.
It's
Alright. She's the Iker Klal Kol Golius, Matzaros Chachman Latzan, Sheikara Ma'idei Chesron Adas. Chesron Adas. V'zeh Tolei B'chol B'chiras Ha'adam, and all this is dependent on the choice of man. Ki Iker HaBechira Shel Kol Echad Hu Al Yidei She'ein Mevin Miyad L'Taretz Kol HaKushos V'HaMevuchos V'HaMikos Shebalev. So Bechira comes about, why? Because a person doesn't understand immediately the answer to all his questions, and all the mevuchos is all the emek habacha, the doubt that's happening in his life, amikis shabalev, and all the existential things that are happening inside of him. He doesn't have the answer right away, so he makes a choice. He becomes a man of bechira. Sheyesh la hal tzadikei emes v'talmidav. Ki im haya mevin v'ro b'daiso miyad. Otzem ha'emes v'golo ma'lasam v'tzitkasam v'eichu yachol lizkos l'chol tuv amiti v'nitzchal yadav. V'vadei haya holech v'ratz al yadav v'aragol l'skarev aleim l'sabek b'afer ragleihem. Ach machma she'emes nesalim v'nistar me'od me'od v'rabu ha'cholkim u'misnagdim she'omrim ma she'omrim ad she'machnisim b'chol ha'chafetzim l'hiskarev kamakushos ha'mavuchos u'bubulim v'bezet tolu kol b'chirasam. Ki ikar ha'bechiru ha'yidei she'em mevinum l'taretz ha'kushos miyad. Ki ha'teretz shel ha'kushos hem b'chinas seichel ha'makif l'fi madrigasam. When a person doesn't have the answers right away, when things are very cloudy, so it becomes a bal bechira. Becomes this, it's like we spend our whole lives like seeking bechira, seeking that choice, not realizing that it only comes, the more bechira that we have in the world is a clearer revelation of how messed up we are, of how confused we are. It's like a corollary equation. The more bechira you have, so we think the more bechira we have. I'm free. I'm a person. I'm a something. I'm a this. I'm a that. But it's only to reveal to us that the depth of our life questions and our existential issues and our emek habacha that we refuse to acknowledge is so great. That's all it's telling us. And the answer to all these kushios is an aspect of the seichel hamakif lefi medragaso, the intellect, the knowledge that surrounds us, according to our level. The little halo that's around us. We're all little angels. וכמו שמבואר שם לעניין המבוכos של הידיעה והבחירה שהם בשכל ומקף, כל עיקר הבחירה היא מחמס דדייקה שהם מבינים השכל של הידיעה והבחירה. וכמו כן, הוא בכל הקושיוס המבוכos שיש לכל אחד בפרטיוס, שעיקר הבחירה הוא על ידי זה, שאין מבינים זה השכל לתרץ כל הקושיוס שקשה לו על צדיקי וקשרי אמס וכנ"ל. ובאמס, אם היו המוחן נסעלמן לגמרי, בלי שום הסגלס כלל, בוודאי לא היה אפשר בשום אופן להזכר והשם יזברך להצדיע אמס. But if everything was hidden from us, then we would have no ability, it would be impossible for us to come close to God and to the tzaddikim of the generation. Ach Hashem Yisbarach Rachmana Malei Rachamim V'chomel al Amma B'chol Dor V'Dor V'Sholech Meir Lanu Hisgalas Hadas Nifla Yidei Chidushay Torah V'Nifla Minayim Shem Mamshicha Tzaddik Emes B'chol Dor V'Yidei Zeh Yesh Bechira Shemi She'eno Rotze Lahatos Etz Atzma Mistako Be'en Emes Amito Yachol Liros Al Yidei Zeh Amitas Nekudas HaEmes Hechan Shore Lemiu Liskarev. So the way I read when I learned this, the way I understood it was, which gets back to the Nekuda of the Tzadik that we were talking about before, is we have these questions, these whatever, I don't know what the right term is, these intermittent problems that happen. And there's tzaddikim in the world, and who have the answers in a way. It's silly to even phrase it like that. They have the das. They have the answers to our questions. But we would never be able to seek them out and to find them and to come close if we didn't have all these intermittent struggles and problems and questions. So while in the moment they're problematic for us and they cause us pain and suffering, when a person's looking at it honestly, because when he's not, he's this gevurdika, he's gevir shabal bechira. But that's exactly what allows us to be miskarev Lashem into the tzaddikim of the generation. To understand that by connecting to them, the answers to our questions will come about. But what does connecting to them mean? It means they have the answer, whatever that means, and you can only understand what it means when you meet a real tzaddik. Because until we meet a real tzaddik, we assume the tzaddik's going to have the answer that we came up with. But really attaching to a tzaddik, your questions fall away. Because he has the answer, which is Das Elokim. Alter Rebbe was bringing that to the world in a way that no one at his time brought yet. He put it in a way that people could understand, that was no longer just about these Balmofsim who were traveling around. It was a way that the masses could attach to it and comprehend it and understand it and relate to it. Nowadays we go around and you tell, what do they say people need? They need to be told that they have a chelik elokim mimal. They have that God wants a connection to them. That no matter what they do, they're never severed from God. It's the royal they. It's what they say is needed. The Jews for too long have been told that to be a good Jew means X and to be a bad Jew means Y, and anyone in the middle ground is screwed anyways, But we're only renewing the old, and as Rav Kook would say, renewing the old and making holy the new, because that's what Alter Rebbe was doing back then. Because there was a moment in the time in the Yerusha of the Baal Shem Tov where it was like, what's going to happen, And then we got a little book that contained a great secret that somehow got lost, except for a few people along the way, so for a few other tzaddikim. So much so that you'll see nowadays people, it's about what's on the outside. It's no longer about what's the inside. And Jews have to be reminded once again, we're talking about we're coming together and not canceling this gathering. Schabros of Jews is what's needed and is what's going to bring Mashiach. It's not going to, and we're sitting here and we're trying to bring back Das. We're trying to connect to Tzaddikim and learning the works of Tzaddikim, and that's why there's no question to bring in something from Rav Nassim. I was bringing it from Rav Nachman because we're just looking for a little bit of das, wherever we can get it from, wherever it's going to bring us from, because the notion of the gartel and the hat and all that stuff it's bechira. This niggin, so I have a choice. I could sing the niggin, or I could go up and get my hat and get my gartel and sing the niggin. But bechira is just a revelation of how lost we are in das Elokim. Connecting to tzaddikim is a way to return to the real bechira, with the das Elokim bechira, the will of God bechira, that everything. Imagine if getting the gartel and the hat was you were wearing it. I saw the movie Wild. What a story.
Yes. Pacific Rim.
What a story.
It's not the village though, it's done.
She says, there's a line she says, I assume it's from the book because it's too good that a writer would write it as, it's too good. It has to be from her because it has to come from that place of being so lost and then finding.
It's too true.
Yeah. She says, I don't want to say it wrong.
Yes. Look up the quote.
Just say.
I wrote it down.
Dude, the
She
words.
didn't regret doing heroin. That's what she said.
Because what's the idea though? That no matter how far you go, you're still there.
Nah, dude, you're off.
Dude, that's the whole idea. No matter how far you are, you can still come back. That's Chabad.
You got a guy.
That's the Rebbe.
No.
You got a guy.
That's the wrong way. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
This is what she says.
She was saying that brought her to exactly where she was.
What?
She was saying that was like part and parcel of her experience.
Yeah, what?
Doing heroin.
Meaning
Exactly.
that your experience.
It's not separate from her her moment to find herself. It was part and parcel of that experience.
Oh, I hear the difference. I hear what you're saying.
She says, I assume it has to, I think it's from the book. I looked it up, it was from the book. What if I was never redeemed? I already was. What if I was never redeemed? I already was. Meaning, tzaddikim come, they reveal that there's no two distinct, separate ways of view. Everything is das Elokim. It's just we were so screwed up that we didn't see it that way.
Yes, that's Chabad.
That's reality. It's not Chabad. It's
No, I
reality.
think that's what the Rebbe tried to say. I mean, I thought of this idea. I don't know if it was crazy. But
It's from Russell.
But to say no. This is the idea that I'm trying to say that that the Rebbe sent that that Chabad. What was the idea of Chabad? That no matter where you are in the world, you could still be part of Hashem. You could still be part of Das. You could still be part of.
It's not that you can be. It's you are.
You are. Sorry,
There's no you can. You cannot. Being a Jew means that you are eternally, forever and ever, and not forever. You always were. There's no ever was this that. Hayahovah. You're always connected.
Strong. Very good.
That's what it means. That's what the Torah says. That's it.
There's no coming
Right.
back. There was always. You were always
Exactly.
Right.
I was never redeemed. I already was.
That's awesome.
There's no such thing as.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe there's a tshuva process and there's that, but there's the ultimate reality. And on nights of a Yahrzeit and the nights of Yahrzeit of Tzaddikim, we're interested in ultimate reality. We're not interested in what is in this world and what's in that world. We're interested in the ultimate reality. We're not interested in the tshuva process and this. We're interested in the ultimate reality, because that's what Tzaddikim are. Tzaddikim are the ultimate reality. That's what they are. They're not the can and cannot be, was not, what I can be, the nostalgia of what I was. They're a being. They're a mindful, they're that. That's Das Elokim. That's a reality. And on nights like this, Golus is that. That's what Golus is. Yes, Golus has its physical aspect to it. It has its hardships, it has its murders, it has its tragedies, it has the innocent spilling of Jewish blood. It has 6 million Jews being killed. It has that. But it also has the true reality of Das Elokim. All that God does is good. Yes, 300 when it comes to that night, 364 days of the year, 353 days of the year, whatever calendar you're using, it's not that way. But on that specific night, it is. It's the Das Elokim. It's the comfort, it's the Nechama, it's the everything. It's the Gula. Golus is every other day of the year. Is Chisaron and Das, is our Bechira, is the UN has this say and they have that say and they have this say. Tzadikim are not about that. They're about Das Elokim. Not Das Torah, Das Elokim. Das Elokim. Yehuda. Das Elokim.
That's what Yehuda represents.
Das Elokim. Let's continue. I think we're about 8 lines up. Hashem Yisbarach, Rachmanu Malei Racham V'chomel, Al Amal B'chol Dor V'Ador V'Sholech U'Meir Lanu Hiskalas Hadas Nifla Yidei Chidush HaTorah Niflam V'Nir Mamshich V'Tzadik Ador B'chol Dor Emes B'chol Dor V'Odei Zeh Yesh Bechira Shemi She'eno Rotze L'Saz read that already Lamito Yachol Liros Ayidei Amitis Nikudos HaEmes Hechan Shor L'mi L'Skar Im Adayin Kasha Lo Kama Kushios Hu Mevin Shezem Muchrach Lios Ki B'Vadai Yeh Efshar L'Havin L'Hasig Das HaGavoa Mimenu Kol Kashu Das HaTzadik HaEmes. So you go and you think you found the Tzadik. You leave the Tzadik and you're with the Tzadik. And you still have all these questions. Or whatever, problems, this, that, It's only, don't look at it as a negative thing. Never going to find the Tzadik. It's another beer to reach the Tzadik HaEmes. The true Tzadik.
You find the Tzadik.
Well, that's where our whole life is, finding the tzaddikim. Ultimately, I was talking with, this will be our, not this is an official chabura, but every official and unofficial chabura has to have the official and unofficial Joey Rosenfeld source of deeper understanding. L'chaim.
Joey.
We were talking today. I never speak without speaking with him. And he has a really strong belief that nowadays tzaddikim is the self. Amech kulam tzaddikim. So our whole lives are spent looking for ourselves. So we'll find different tzaddikim. But we're ultimately looking for ourselves. When we find the tzaddik, it's the same thing. We find a physical embodiment of a tzaddik in the generation. So we become clear with who we want to be and what we are and who we are. It's what it does to you. You see people who meet tzaddikim and they just like their lives like take off like a rocket ship. And not the way that we understand the rocket ship, like, it was such a good davening, Their lives take off like a rocket ship because they know exactly who they are and what their purpose is and what they're trying to do in the world. It's very clear to them.
That is a rocket ship.
That's the rocket ship, not that you had an amazing Rosh Hashanah davening. Because I just read from Revolbi, which is an important point, that he said, you hear this from a Muslim person, you wouldn't believe it unless you read it and heard it and saw it from him. He said, a Mushar Shmuz does nothing for a person. 0. Why? Because it's momentary. It's momentary. But a person who knows himself is able to take a Mushar Shmuz, to take an experience and assimilate it into his personality and into who he is. When you meet a tzaddik, what's happening is yourself is being revealed. Das Elokim coming through me is revealing itself, and I take off because nothing else no other opinion makes a goddamn difference. Because I am doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing and living exactly how I'm supposed to be living. That's what's happening. It's a whole new perspective on the way. And when we meet tzaddikim along the way, who reveal that everything we've been doing until now is just revealing more and more and more and more of who I am. Not, that was me and this is me. The old me, trying to be like him, When you meet real tzaddikim reveal that everything you've been doing up until now is a further birur and hisgalos of yourself, that when you meet them, it's an explosion of you. That's all it is. That's what's happening. That's what the Alter Rebbe was bringing. Kulo. If you really learn the Tanya, this is why we're lucky, that we learn the Tanya fresh. Not in the structure of how it's supposed to be learned. Because when we do that, we learn it how Adam Friedman is learning Tanya, and how Isaac is learning Tanya, how David is learning Tanya. That's how we're learning Tanya. That's how we're learning. Whatever. I'm mentioning Tanya because tonight's the Alter Rebbe Yahrzeit. But whatever we're learning of the Tzadik, it's we're lucky because we're gonna explode ourselves. We're not gonna be institutionalized the way that it's supposed to be said and supposed to be. Yes, there's a way for that. There is, but there's something amazingly deep about the way that we approach Svarim, because it's us approaching the Sefer, and it's not something to be lost. כך מוכרח להיות כמו שנאמר במקום אחר, כמו כן בהכרשי הקש וקושיות על צדיק האמס, כי אי אפשר להשיג דייסה שגבוה ממנו הרבה. So there'll be times where you'll meet a tzaddik and the das, it's too much for you, meaning you don't fully comprehend it, so you'll look at the tzaddik, but he doesn't have my answers. And you'll have this where l'mashal. I remember 7 years ago, I read Letter in the Scroll. Boring. Fell asleep, couldn't get through it. 3 years later, I read it. It was one of the most powerful books I ever read at the time. Same book, same words. There's that notion that at the moment, something is too beyond our grasp, but that doesn't mean that it's against us, or negate us, or negated. Well, it just could be that we're on our way to, we're further revealing who we are. I'll skip down to the Yud, just because time, I guess. Not that anyone seems like they're going anywhere.
What's with the time thing?
It's like a thing. It's like a social thing, You give everyone the license to leave when they want to leave, even though they know and you know that you don't really mean it,
Anyone who wants to leave is going to get up and go.
Nah, most people won't. They'll be like, I can't leave. And when you say they can leave, it makes it keeps them in even longer. Cause
this doesn't look like the most socially appropriate crowd. If they want to go, they're going to go. If they want to come, they're going to go.
I'm already asleep, dude.
If they want to sleep, they'll sleep.
You sleeping there?
Come back. I'm done already.
Everyone needs a place to
Not
meet.
Was Yoey's gonna go later? It's over.
That was it, by the way. He's out in that chair.
Let's go forever.
Yeah?
Yeah, never again.
Might go over after. We'll see. Alright. Yud.
What's after?
What's going on after?
Creamy Nova's good, no?
Dude, this was good.
I finished the creamy Nova.
So good.
Dude, I
Dijon's
finished
a
the
little
Argos.
funky.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah,
it's good.
Okay, good. It's in its right place.
Are there any other handwritings out here maybe that I could try?
Yeah, there's Dijon, there's
this one's
Does
Red.
that have water?
I had red, maybe Dijon.
Do you want
I
dill
haven't had
dip?
yet.
We've dill
I'll
and
take
spinach
some
dip.
dill dip.
We've dill and spinach dip. Get this guy the spinach dip.
Definitely try this one. What else do we have?
this is
Spinach
spinach.
dip.
Oh, this is spinach. This is dill.
We were gunning for tomato and jalapeno, but they were out of it.
Let me try the Dijon herring first, which
That's
is
a
always
gumbo.
it's always a good
Right?
go.
Zem.
Maybe that's the
L'chaim. L'chaim.
Time.
It's interesting, Dijon. So Raskins sometimes
Spinach dip
will
didn't
be
take
very
off.
intense that you'll be like, I love this herring. And then you'll have Raskins and you'll be like, I guess I don't really love that herring, you know?
And these are just dips.
Oh, spinach
Dips, just
dip.
that's so
So that's
Just
why they
the
didn't
dip.
take off. Yeah.
the
Just the
chisaron in Season's dill dip is it's like mayonnaise with a hint of dill.
Yeah.
That was dill. That was dill.
Well, mayonnaise with a hint of dill. Spinach looks pretty spinachy.
And everyone every Jewish home has spinach, not spinach, but the dill mayo with the fish. You know what I mean?
Not this home. We used to.
With the
We used to have it
salmon.
with the salmon.
Yeah, the
That's what I
salmon.
meant. It was a salmon.
We don't anymore. We transcended
But
it.
that's a thing. That was a trend.
Yeah, definitely a trend.
That's a dude. I just mentioned a trend. I'm just saying.
Maybe.
Spinach dip.
L'chaim.
L'chaim, Reb Judah.
So I can
Who
still
needs them?
I can still eat herring from last week.
You got like a month.
Now we've come
What-
full
what
circle
type of
at
herring?
the beginning of the.
Like this kind of crap.
When I have to say spinach dip,
Salted
literally
fish.
just
So
tastes
I
amazing.
assume yes. I definitely like the pickled and the straight matches and those.
You got time.
These creamy ones, I don't know necessarily because it's like. But then again, it's like you use mayonnaise in your fridge for like 4 months.
More?
Oh yeah, no, it'd be nice. It'd be nice.
Pesach.
You know, I don't want to say like 6 months, a year, and be like,
Put
what?
them out.
You gotta start. Yeah.
But also, there's a date on a lot of the herrings. Also, look for a date.
But the dips, the spinach
Yeah.
dip, I
Yeah.
think it's like an 8.9.5.
Really? Send it this
Whoa.
way, please.
Wow.
Wow.
Am I the first one to try it?
I think so.
That's higher than
Can I get that spinach dip?
90.
Apparently.
Which is.
Which is
Tzadik.
good.
This is Tzadik.
Which is Tzadik.
That's good. 'Cause that's
I just had a second coming, by the way.
Wow.
I don't know what
Oh, he's
happened.
back. He's back.
We're all back.
Wow,
We're all
he used-
back. We all
Throwing
returned.
out of
Well, we
Christian
didn't really
references.
return.
Christian
I'm
anymore.
sorry.
We didn't return.
That is.
I can't see anything anymore.
This
so
is
it's so
this
good.
is.
Well, Christianity is really just a klipa
No, it's
of
coming back.
tzaddikim.
It's coming back, by the way.
A tremendous klipa of tzaddikim. I just had a real amazing ha'ara. I think of most questions that I ask hamashpia, I think of when I'm like so drunk. I'm like, oh, this is a good question. The thing is, I still ask. No, I write them down. I still asking them. Saiba.
Take the candy.
That's how dumb I am.
I'm better off with the herring than the candy.
What are you thinking about now to ask him?
During the Basheva Singer movie, I had like 30 questions. I was like, I need to ask.
Did you read that article on Tablet?
Which one?
His harem? His harem?
We saw the movie about him.
You did it?
Yeah.
He was a ladies man.
He was putting hair in?
No, he had a harem.
No, he had a
of
harem.
women.
Oh,
His translators.
Yeah.
What a guy. What a guy.
What a yid.
dude, I thought I was watching a movie.
And you know what?
There's an Isaac texts me. He's like a ladies' man, and I'm like, oh wow, so that's what this movie's about. I was like, oh, there's gonna be some amazing revelations about like the translation of like books or whatever.
Yeah.
It's all about like he's like a sexual pervert.
I love how each of his translators said, I didn't sleep with
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
The rest of them did. All 49 of them. It was like a lot of them. 50? Yeah, it was like a tremendous amount.
Wow.
That was good, right?
How's the spinach dip?
Definitely good.
I like
I wouldn't
that.
write it off.
I like it a lot.
Dill dip.
It's like onion dip without the spice.
To be honest, my parents got the dips.
You got the herring, the parents got the dips. Or they got everything.
Zelbazach.
Where did you
They were
buy the
going
herrings,
out
by the way? 'Cause I
anyways.
have no idea. I don't know any
So I
shops
asked
in
them to pick
Northwest
up
Side.
dips. Seasons.
Seasons, that's where it's at.
I told them explicit directions: no Sabra or the light dips.
What's
No
Sabra?
corporate dips.
Sabra's too much.
Sabra is
It's-
Pepsi.
It's corporate.
Yeah.
It's
That's
like
corporate?
preservative.
we're Burning
It doesn't
Man's
taste like
becoming
hummus. It doesn't taste like mabucha.
Like when you say in Israel, like you're a Sabra, that means like you're like an intense.
Nah.
Not the Sabra
Yeah.
dip. Not the official dip of the
Pepsi.
Super Bowl.
I was once in. Do you know anything about Montreal? Any Montrealers?
I know they say Shabbos.
So, there's a war between New Yorkers and Montrealers on the bagel.
Yeah.
Because the Montreal bagel
Yeah.
is
The New Yorkers know about it.
Jep is a different.
Never.
Well, New Yorkers are very,
What's a Montreal
very
bagel?
arrogant about our bagel.
A Montreal bagel
Man,
is a little bit smaller.
sugar.
It's not made out of sugar. It's when it's boiled. You know, it's
You know what the key to a bagel is? What
What?
makes the bagel is the water that it's made in.
Ah,
That's why LA bagels
suck.
suck. And LA people know it.
so you're onto it now.
LA water sucks.
All baked goods in Montreal are better
You
than
do
baked
it.
goods
It's
in
like
New York.
accepted.
I'd be
Torahs.
Moscow.
No one argues about this.
Yeah, for sure.
The water in Montreal is so much better. In fact, my wife and all of her siblings, including her
Your wife's
secular
from Montreal?
including her secular brother from Toronto, flies. I swear, he flies to Montreal once every
But
I don't
like
know,
Toronto is
6
not the
weeks.
same. It's not the same.
Nope. He
Interesting.
flies to Toronto. Well, no, the water might be fine. There's just people don't bake them as well there. He flies to Montreal, goes to a bakery. He buys, I don't know, $200 worth of the same baked good. Goes home right away so that he can freeze it because he doesn't want it to
Why doesn't he get them shipped?
Well, this is tradition. You're messing with tradition.
Stupid question. Stupid question.
But it's called. The bakery there is called Cheskis.
A. Husky A.
Cheskis. Cheski has a brother
My
Shloimi.
brother-in-law.
Slima.
Shloimi has a bakery called Shloimi's Bakery, which is a famous bakery in Borough Park.
Oh,
But it's not Yossi's
It's
bakery.
crap.
I'll take a piece of that.
Compare it.
It's crap.
It's crap compared.
Drek.
Cheski uses the same. They both use the same recipe.
Really interesting.
And Shloimi says my brother's stuff is better because the water
Yeah.
is
Well, it
so
is.
much better in Montreal.
It
And we
really
use
takes
the same recipe.
the personal thing out of it.
And he said, my brother has come here, tasted my things, and said, you bake for shit. I'm going to bake it. And he baked his own recipes there. And he said,
You're right. That's true. It's all about the water.
I was on. There was a reason. Oh, the whole story started because of one thing. So, there's a famous bakery in Montreal. My father-in-law decided it was kosher, so we all. It's kosher for us, but not for anyone else that has a relationship
Dude,
with Montreal.
only in this generation are we in the generation of Hechsherim. So
So it's called St. Viator's Bagel.
Thank you.
Montreal Bagel started with St. Viator's Bagel. It's the most famous bagel shop in Montreal, probably in Canada. It's called St. Viator's Bagel.
It's only Christian.
I was there.
It's Jewish, okay? Saint is Jewish.
I was in St. Viator's Bagel, and there were a bunch of policemen there. They eat bagels like policemen in New York eat donuts. So I'm in St. Viator's, and I asked them for cream cheese, and I went for like the Philadelphia cream cheese. I'm taking it out, and like there were a bunch of police officers there, and they're like, Philadelphia. And I was like, okay.
yeah.
Preservatives, like.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
No, not a, la. Actually, Montrealers say la at the end of everything. So I
Cream
said,
cheese la.
I was like, what's wrong with Philadelphia? Philadelphia, la, that's like preservatives, la. Anyway, to make a long story short, they told me, and it was a great lesson. They said anything you put in your fridge that can stay there for the whole year and it still tastes good, that's a problem.
Yep. But it tastes good.
He's like, you should be buying stuff
You should be buying stuff.
that dies
Yeah. No.
that dies after a week.
You ever see Fargo? You watch Fargo?
I did watch Fargo. I don't remember it though.
Not the movie.
Did you
The
finish
show.
Oh,
Didn't
no.
you finish it?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Oh,
man.
good for you.
Yeah. No.
Fanta?
What? Like,
Real good, man.
dude,
Really?
Minnesotans are weird.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Oh,
so
yeah.
excited to see what Minnesotans were like in the 70s.
Oh yeah.
You guys see the movie?
No, but I'm saying like for the next show.
Season two,
Season
right?
two.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Everything's yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, such dumb
Saba
people.
was a champion.
It always is.
Is anyone here?
You ever seen the movie Big Fish?
No, but I know what it's about.
Good.
The Big Fish
That's
is
Saba.
actually the life and times of Moshe Friedman.
He does a really good.
You're
Saba. He's a big fish in a small pond.
Literally that movie that was.
We're all little fish in huge ponds, insignificant.
What was he
nothing.
saying when I was in the bathroom?
I don't know, but he's a big fish in a small pond.
Something about trying
Yeah.
to be like close to Hashem or something like that.
As they said in Big Fish, you could tell the story with the facts, but it just wouldn't be as fun.
That's awesome.
L'chaim.
L'chaim. Can I have another shot?
Yeah. No. If you're gonna ask, no. You know.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If you're gonna ask,
Can you clarify something you said at the beginning about
Yeah, sure.
Tzadik with the lies?
L'chaim.
Yes, Lester.
Do you remember what you said?
Let's say L'chaim first.
L'chaim first, then the story.
L'chaim. That's not a story.
Well, yes, it is a story because it is the Tzadik.
my phone.
Yeah, no.
My phone was dead when I left my house, and I brought my charger. So I figured.
What do you have? 6?
No, I brought my charger with me,
We own chargers.
and not a 6.
5?
No, I don't use
What
my
is?
phone. Android.
Android? Android?
Android.
Android?
Droidicar?
Let me see what the
Is
thing
it a
is.
droid?
No, I have the thing. I have it in my
He's
pocket.
part of Star Wars.
Where
That's
is
what
it?
it is.
He said something about the Tzadik.
I decided not to,
That wasn't a lie?
Oh,
Not to charge.
What did
How
you
you doing?
repeat that? What you said?
Where are you?
Good.
So
I just decided not to charge.
Tzad, like the letter Tzad.
whatever happened.
Look at my drawing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a good move.
Yeah.
Noon, Zara says, since
My phone was dead. She saw me taking the charger.
red
I was like,
oh no, which means see, no is a vera of leading someone astray via
I know there's gonna be another 10
deceiving him,
errands.
with your words.
Oh,
and,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yud is a chachma. Comes
What's your name
Tzadik. Yud
Shia.
is chachma.
Reuben.
Das Elokim.
What's your name?
Is the divine wisdom
Level.
comes and
Stokar.
Vorka. It's like
brings
Vorka.
the aspect of
I'm Navarro.
chachma ilah to
You're
the
Navardic.
world, to the world of sheker,
At least
and
one side.
reveals
What's the other side?
the godliness in the
Gary.
world.
I don't know where they're from.
So true,
Fabrengen.
this world
Where's Summer
is
from?
I'm asking.
seen
Father.
as something
Minkat,
false
Fabrengen,
and
Dinner.
fraud
I didn't even know
and deceitful.
What's with you?
Tzaddik,
Brush up on
Tzaddik
your,
reveals
geography.
exactly
The only
what
person I know is my bubby. My bubby
is
sent me a letter.
like the purpose of everything in the world.
Navarro.
Of the
Said we're a
seeds.
super
mean,
closer movement trying to work on
In
ourselves.
this world,
Oh, wow.
even though it's like Olam Hafach and it's Alma the Shikra,
And I was on Heritage.
There's-
What Heritage?
it's
Something like that.
we wouldn't be here
Yeah.
if there wasn't,
I got more out of that than anything else in my life.
but God still
Really?
Yeah.
wills
I was, like,
the
the most
world
proud
at
to
every
do it.
moment. So
Right.
Tzaddik comes and
When
reveals,
he pulled up right after, I was like,
simply Torah mitzvahs are the way,
the people that
when he comes and he reveals that the deceit
touching
is not a deceit, it's a deceit on the exterior, but the panemius of it is exactly, I took it in the way that
felt very like
my
felt very
view of it is
Very proud.
everything you do is ultimately,
supposed to be.
a further revelation of yourself, so you can't look back on something and say it was a deceitful moment, even though the act itself
Cool.
might have been a deceitful thing
My
in terms of
We're
what
doing
this
a
world
Shiva.
sees as Rachon Hashem, but in
Yeah.
terms of where you are,
Yeah.
Look, I'll give you, someone came up
Oh,
to
yeah.
me the other day,
2009,
very distraught. I
How
was
old
like,
are
you're a rabbi, right?
24.
I was like,
Okay. When did we go?
yeah, no, but yeah, like, I'm studying,
2004?
so he's like, okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was
So
there
he
for 4.5
Gave me
years.
this whole thing, he's like,
Wow, that's a long time.
transcendental meditation. It was very big in the 60s.
Cool.
He didn't want to say that
You
he
made me
did
speak to
it,
his son.
like
Which one?
the whole like
I don't
Buddha,
know, Ari?
India.
Hard.
He's a psychologist.
So he was like saying like he was told his whole life
Not the one that married
he's
the
like a
American.
chote gadol Yisrael.
You know that one?
He's the
I
sinner of the
really-
generation.
I know Hanan.
He's
That's
asking
all
me,
I
he's
know.
like,
Khan's like your age.
he's telling me, he's like, actually,
Like, 1 year
we got to
older.
talking about him personally. He said, actually, like,
He's a rabbi now. In the
I was waking up really early to go to these meditations.
What's
I was
new?
like, once I'm waking up to do this, like,
Yeah,
I'm
there's
Jewish, I
people
might as well
that
put on the film. I was like, that's what got me back into putting on the film and being religious.
Do you know Reb Thaler?
So he's like, am I a
You
sinner?
know the
I was
law.
like,
What?
I said, no, I said, there, I was like,
Because not everybody knows everybody. So
it
we're
says in Ohio,
No,
like,
no.
you know,
I got
no
around.
morals
Too
and
much
sin.
learning.